when you know it's psi that triggers sentences, eventually you start to realise that I started off by placing letters of the alphabet everywhere. I used to stick letters of the alphabet on the telly, on the wall, and every time I seen that, I heard the letter A or A. So I eventually trained myself to realise that everything I looked at was spelt out. But I realised that I could talk over that with my imagination. Now, it took a long time, but I suddenly started to hear my imagination and my own thoughts projected everywhere. I can go outside, even right now, and I can hear my own imagination. I can hear what I'm thinking out aloud everywhere in a different voice, in second person grammar. But if you get used to cutting out the second person grammar, you can actually hear your own thoughts everywhere, and sometimes it's bewildering, to be honest. Um, I've tried everything. I mean, I used to wrap string around certain objects in the house, around the telly and around chairs, and because I felt as if someone were trying to steal not my identity, but my actions. I felt like someone were playing a part as if I was someone else. So with that, I discovered string theory, and I've also discovered I'm a bit of a Scientologist because um, when you're dealing with time travel and, well, basically just time travel, you can you can figure out almost anything. I know that I'm right. I do know that I'm right in what I'm saying. I really do. I know what I'm doing and everything else. I've gone through hell and I've come out the other side, I think. I don't think there's any much more they can do to me now. I mean, they've tried all types of different things. But I can't believe there's people on the planet that are willing to do this to another human being. I can see the room. I can see what they do and how they do it. But I can't understand why I can't explain it in its simplest of terms. But I do believe there's a lot of different ways how you can do it as well. I wonder what they do, what jobs they do, and where they're from. I've noticed something in all victims that when they try and explain how bad it is, it takes them about 2 seconds. It's a bit like a dream. If you have a dream through the night and you explain to someone the next day, it'll take about a minute to explain, but yet it lasted the whole night time. That's how it feels. I I'm happy with the way that things are going in my life at the minute. I'm not happy with how other victims are dealing with it, and I'm trying my best to put it across to them. But they don't seem to grasp what I'm talking about at all. You've got to think in 4 dimensions. That's why I mentioned 3 squared times 3 squared, because it's 27. So you've got 3 squared, which is 9, 18, 27. And I've just mentioned that, but I know what it means, but trying to explain it means another thing. It's like, oh, there's one spare. So what do I do with that? It's 1 plus minus. That's how I write it down, 1 plus minus. So you've got 0. I've got 0.4 for cerebral listening under 1 MHz, which probably means nothing to no one. And to be honest with you, it don't mean much to me. But that's just the way that it is. I hope that the people who are doing this watch me and learn from me, because to do it to someone is a sin in itself. But you've got to imagine, this is what I do. I imagine if I'm, let's say I'm doing this to someone, and if I'm, how can I put it, if I were doing something, I need to get something out of it. So you've got to think about, well, what could they be getting out of it? And I believe they can see dreams, and I wish I never said that, because what I mean is I've seen things on a television set that you wouldn't believe, that no one would believe. No one knows that I leave these videos. No one, apart from my girlfriend, and she'd never tell anyone anyway. She thinks it's nonsense, but she knows there's something there, because I've had her listening to shitloads of recordings where I've made. But how can you record yourself apart from with speaking? That's where consonants come into it. And I keep going about consonants and vowels. I know. But you really need to study how they work, how the human vocal cord works, and how your mouth works, and how a television works, to understand how it's done. Um, I was thinking the other day that when you record something and you send it to a telly, let's just say I had a camcorder hooked up to a television set, and I was recording the television set. You get an echo, a picture that's an echo. If you were to put letters of the alphabet on screen from the recorder, you would have an everlasting set of the alphabet. It'd be like an echo. That's why I said they speak through the light. And even then, it doesn't sound right. I've left loads of videos and I've said exactly the same thing. I just don't sound right. And one day I will. One day I will sound right. That's why I leave